I'm
gonna do like a little bit, but it's not too big.
The problem is I can't mute myself, so. Oh frick! I made a little clip show and everything's good. Okay. I am so unprepared.
Every streamer ever.
No, you said I'm more prepared than this, but nah, I'm not.
It's like, okay, so let's get all the setup ready. There we go. Crap, where's the go live button?
I made a slideshow and it keeps not playing the slideshow.
I prepared the slideshow on my USB. There we go. I got my cue cards and everything. Go to school. Where's my USB?
I'm actually serious. My slideshow isn't playing.
That's a nightmare, man. I remember that happened to one of my friends once. It was brutal. It was just like, okay, are you ready for the present? It's like, yep. Never mind.
I mean, like, one of our great album assignments we had. Do you know the song "We Didn't Start the Fire"?
Oh, yeah.
We had to choose a theme from one of the stuff in the song, and I chose heavy metal and rock because a lot of people associate that with suicide and stuff. So
Okay.
I made like my presentation that heavy metal doesn't mean necessarily suicide. And halfway during the presentation, I wanted to play a song very dear to mine that convinces you not to commit suicide. And halfway during the presentation, the children screamed, "Adrian, play us the song you created." And I think they misheard what I said because they thought I literally wrote a rock song. And then I played the song without me knowing that they thought I wrote the song. And they told me, "But Adrian, that isn't your voice." And I said, "Yeah, no shit, it isn't my voice." And they said, "No, but they expected I'm going to sing a rock song during one of my presentation." And I flipped and I told them, okay, number one, I can't sing. Number two, my guitar was stolen 2 years ago. And number three, I'm not going to perform a rock concert in front of my class. Mm-mm.
Oh man, that.
And you know what's the worst thing that happened like during? Wait, are you live?
Nah. 3 seconds.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'm gonna
professional everything.
I'm gonna like turn down the story. Then when you're live, I'm gonna tell it further. I just need to tweet this out.
Alright. Welcome everybody. Hi, I stream. Okay, back to the story.
Well, that's the most convincing intro ever.
Welcome
Anyway,
everybody to the Sunday chat. Today I'm here with how do I call you? Rogue or?
You can just call me Adrian.
Adrian, all right.
Yeah. Well, how's it going, guys? How's the Tree Nation? Oh, that's weird. That's weird.
Rogue Nation meets Tree Nation.
The war is on. Who will win?
The Legion is created. Welcome to our clan.
You're either with us or against us.
Yes.
I'm literally trying to tweet this out and I can't because I keep on laughing.
Hey, we're just here to have a good time, that's all.
Yeah. Just talk crap 24/7 and not do the Q&A at all.
Yes. Oh man.
There we go. I hope I copied the right link, otherwise people will be redirected to a rock song. Whoops. Okay. So I was talking about the presentation during my school.
Yes.
Okay, now I actually need to hopefully I'm a professional streamer. I'm gonna do everything manually and no hotkeys will be required.
For sure.
Okay, I'm really unprepared now. Whoops.
When the camera's rolling, everything just clicks in. It's like, wait a minute.
Wait a minute, something ain't right here. Okay, there we go. Everything is set up, hopefully. Am I echoing at your end by any chance?
For me, nah, it's fine.
Alright. So the story, halfway during the presentation, when not halfway, after I told them I can't sing and playing guitar and everything, they said to me, or the teacher told me that, Adrian, if you're not gonna sing, I'm gonna give you a fat 0 because you promised us a song. And I started laughing nervously, and I thought, wait, this teacher is really gonna give me a 0 because I can't sing. And then I stressed and I told them, okay, you know what? Here's an old clip of mine. I had like an old clip back when I did play guitar, and I put it on the screen. The whole class laughed at me and they told me that, Adrian, that isn't rock, that's just you singing falsely. Most embarrassing though, just, yeah, I really flipped and I freaking cursed my class and I wished them dead. And I'm joking, but good job, I could. Minutes later, the teacher told me that, Adrian, you have 50% because you couldn't sing for.
No.
Yeah, my English teacher was the worst teacher ever.
Oh man, that's just sad.
So what embarrassing school stories do you have?
Oh,
there's so many.
Embarrassing school stories are for me. Oh man. Well, one thing that came into mind real quick, was what is it? Oh man, I remember this. Like I really, really like doing presentations. Like I'm
Yeah.
this weird kid that's just super introverted or like super shy, but just really likes doing presentations. I'm weird. All right. This is why I enjoy streaming. Anywho, so I was doing this presentation for a class. All right. It was also for an English class, and we were basically reviewing this book. I forgot what the book was called, but basically the presentation was about try to pick out an aspect of the book.
Yeah.
Like the book is like full of wisdom and whatnot. So we pick a theme in the book, and then we roll with it and talk about how it relates to us. So some people pick the theme of nature and how it's like, oh, this country kid loves going outside, so I'm gonna do a presentation of me going camping every summer or whatever. That's what some people did, and they showed off their cottage and whatnot. I picked the theme of friendship, and me being with very little friends, I kind of just tried. Like, okay, so here's no photos of my friends.
No.
But here's something that I did with my friends, but it's only in text. So it was really awkward because it's like, it's not that I'm lying or anything, it's that I'm just trying to fill the story. Trying to connect the dots, as you will. It's like, oh, it's just a chess game that I did with my friends this one time. Well, I'ma just say, every once in a while, like every month or so, me and my friends hang out, and we love playing chess.
Oh.
Yeah, let's try to make this interesting. Oh man.
I can't believe
So
you sound like the popular kid in our school for some reason. I just picture you popular.
oh man, that's like my end goal. Like ever since I was a kid, all right, I always try to be that attention-grabbing child, like as one child does. And it's like, okay, so that's my end goal. I see that cool kid, I'm gonna be like him one day. Like you always get these imaginations, like, wow, I want to be the greatest scientist ever. No, I want to be that guy in school against everyone. Yeah. Never
Now,
happened, but oh well.
now, who did you idolize as a younger kid? Who did you idolize as a kid, like when you grow up? Besides the popular kid in high school.
Idolize. It's always. I always wanted to help. I guess, like, like in kindergarten. I'm not sure did you guys do it or not, but in my class, I guess, we did this event where it's like, oh, who do you think you're going to grow up as when you get older? A doctor, a medical surgeon, a teacher? What do you think, kid? Like, these existential, these, like, hey, what's your final job going to be, 5-year-old? Kind of question. So it's like, okay, well, I like helping people, but I don't know any jobs that are. So I just like went to like work, and it's like, okay, police officer, that's cool. I'm gonna be that. Hey, but I'm gonna be a popo when I grow up because I can help people cross the street. The teacher looked at me weird. I'm like, excuse me? I'm like, yeah.
we did have like that thing. Okay, we didn't call it kindergarten. Frick, I can't say that word. We called it grade 0. So you had grade 0 and you had grade R, where you were just introduced to school, and in grade 0, like the teachers asked us, what do you want to be? Now, my creative little mind, back then I was heavy into superheroes. Superman was my favorite superhero ever. I still have my action figures, and
that's great.
and like we watched the video in grade 7, and I remember this. We watched the video in grade 7 that our parents had to get from our grade 0 classes, to show that okay, this is what we still want to be one day, and versus what we wanted to be when we were like 3 or 4 years old. And everybody told, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a fireman, I want to be a philosopher. One kid literally told like everybody, I want to be a philosopher. Here I came, I want to be Superman one day. Like everybody had this realistic goal, and yeah, I come with, I want to be Superman one day. And like the whole entire hall laughed, and one of the children told me, and then I didn't present a video that what I wanted to be in the future, because I still decided I want to be a veterinarian or I want to be a therapist. And look how my road turned out. I'm studying IT. And like I still remember that day where everybody laughed at me. I want to be a superhero. Truth is, like, that is a main goal of mine. I want to help people in a sense, not doing therapy work, but like introducing life lessons through my games or through apps I'm going to create one day or something like that,
Oh, that's great.
What do you want to study after school? I know I asked you this during a stream, but I mean, this is a new time, new quarantine.
Yeah. Oh, that's a funny thought. How is your quarantine going?
Well, I mean, just finished exams like this week, Friday. No, when did I tweet it out? Wednesday? I don't know. But yeah, I finished exams this week, and semester 2 arrives in 9 days? Question mark. I haven't looked at the timetable, but yeah. And they told us semester 2 is going to be harder, tougher, and we'll be a real man when we get out.
Oh.
Like literally, the professor messaged us, like in quotes, the smart kids. I'm not one of the smart kids. And he messaged them, you're going to come out tougher, stronger, smarter than ever before. I just looked at the message and I just thought, wait, so you have so much faith in me? like dude, you literally told me at the beginning of my semester that I'm gonna fail because I can't code, right? And now you're praising me that I'm one of the smart kids. Like, really?
Oh man, I get why teachers do that. Like, sending out mass emails, but it just hurts. It's just like, aw, this is not for me.
No, literally create. Do you know what not TeamViewer, Microsoft Teams is?
Yeah, I got a rough idea.
So we're doing online classes on that platform. So he made like a group, the actual class group, and then he made in quotes, the smart kids group. And I'm in the smart kids group. So he only sent that message in the smart kids group. So that's why
Yeah.
that's what I thought. Like you told me I'm gonna fail at the beginning of the semester, and I'm in your freaking smart kids group. Like, dude, decide already.
Oh man.
Like, I mean,
That's brutal.
you have to choose. I'm either dumb or I'm smart. I mean, I can't be both. That's a bit impossible.
Hey, it's all subjective. It's all opinion.
No, but I mean, how's your quarantine? I mean, like on Twitter and everything, the stuff you said.
Oh man, it's been really weird. It's really weird. So how my quarantine been? It was like think of like think of like a graph going from like 0 to 10, 0 being absolutely depressed and 10 being like super happy over the top. Yeah,
Yeah.
I met every single one of those numbers during quarantine. It was a weird experience.
Yeah.
Really weird. Like I never thought I could get that low, nor did I thought I could get this high. Like it was weird. So let's go month by month because it's kind of like month by month kind of idea. So in March, in the middle of March, all right. Funny story. Got my first phone at the age of 17. Okay, I'm a boomer. Leave me alone. So
Never knew what
the
Twitter
middle.
really was. So when I told you.
Yes. So I got my first phone. I'm like, great. What do I do with this? I got no idea. March break is like next week, with like tomorrow, which is like a week break in the middle of March, because hey, we can't get enough breaks here.
Yeah.
Oh, that I still can't get used to that. So it's like, all right, March break. So we get this week-long break. I get to learn how to use a phone for once, and I'm like, great. How do I call people? Hey, mom, how do I call people on the phone? Anywho, it was a wonderful experience. Middle of March break, which would be like around the 20th by then.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, guess what? We're not going back to school for a long while because of this pandemic, and I'm like, oh, be darn it. I'm in music, can't do that. I'm in this class, I can't do that anymore. Goodness gracious, this whole school year's crap. So it's like, oh well, it's kind of bums. What do I do? So since it was the middle of March, I kind of squat down on my chair, being a pro gamer, and I'm like playing, I think, Call of Duty, Modern Warfare at the time, the new BR game like just came out, and I'm like, sweet, so I'm gonna be playing that. Um, Monksy, you're not being replaced. Oh my goodness. So I'm a squat down and I've been playing that, and I'm like, okay. So what do I do? Hey, streaming, that's fun. I'm gonna do that. I did a little bit at January, gave it a little try, stopped at February because I completely forgot about it.
What?
Like I was like streaming one day, and then it's like school, and then the next day is school, and then I forgot to stream for like a month, and then March I'm like, oh wait, I can stream.
I have a Twitch
Sweet.
channel.
I,
I completely forgot about it.
I should try. So the entirety of April, or I would say a good majority of April, I just went ham on streaming. I'm like, boy, okay. I've been theory crafting streaming and YouTube for the past year, maybe two. I'm a weird kid, alright, leave me alone. I've been theory crafting and learning all the analytics, learning all the strats, learning how to clickbait and whatever. Don't at me. So I'm like, all right, let's put the knowledge to the test. I got all the knowledge in the world, but zero experience. Let's get some experience. So I started streaming at like April, and then I went from there, and I'm just playing games. I'm like, boy, talking to myself with the
Feels
cameras
weird.
rolling. The weirdest thing. Like I
Yeah.
had this habit when I was a kid when I talked to myself a lot because I'm like, hey, I'm gonna be a YouTuber one day, as one kid thinks. So I'm like, okay, I can talk to myself, blah blah blah. I always think out loud. It's perfectly fine. Streaming is exactly this. When I press live and I'm like,
Brain goes silent.
oh yeah, I got this god yeah, how's everybody's day going? Yeah. It was super weird. It was super weird, all right? It was very uncomfortable.
I
It's
mean,
an experience that I will keep living because I keep trying new things. It's that new things vibe. It's
yeah.
really weird, but it's also really new and it's really cool. So yeah, that's that. That was my April, and it was pretty successful. Like I met Muxie, my current mod, which is he's a great guy. My friend Armil was super supportive, and it's like, man, it's going great. I got 2 viewers on my stream concurrently. This is incredible. One being me, another being my friend. It's great. So now comes May, and I'm like, great. I've been streaming daily for the past 2 weeks, kind of getting a little bit burnt out, but not realizing it. So I'm like, okay, so I'm gonna give YouTube a try. Horrible idea, didn't execute. I was just bombarded with stress. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I get it. It's my monthly dump fest where I just get like kind of not feeling myself for like once like this there's this week in the month where I just get kind of like low. I'm like, okay, I just need a break kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, so that's like the start of May. And I never got out of it until June. And I'm like, that's a problem. What's going on? Let's try fixing the problem. So I'm like, okay, so I'm try to stay like I'm like super third person at the time. So I'm like, okay, I got this kid, which is me, being super depressed. Let's keep him depressed and analyze it to see how we can fix it. And I got so low. I got so low. It was miserable, man. Like the second half of May and then the first half of June is just like brutal. It was brutal. I was like, mate, I'm not even going to play video games. Like it was that bad.
Yeesh.
So after analyzing myself and being like, okay, can I snap out of depression now? Like, mate, just stop being unhappy. How do I fix this? It's not working. I give myself a lollipop and I'm like, no thanks. And I'm like, boy, this kid's broken. So
Boy, this kid is
after
broken.
man, this kid's broken. If he doesn't want a lollipop, man, you know he's like really low. So I was like, okay, so let's think here, all right? Let's meditate for the next month and figure out the issue. And I'm like, hey, I fixed it. I should stop caring, but for reals this time. So I basically had to change my whole perspective on things to try to like heal my brain.
Yeah.
Where like before, I'm like, hey, you always gotta do your best. But now I'm like, it doesn't matter of the outcome. It's the what matters is the part that you act. Like the acting matters, but the outcome doesn't. And I had to like train my brain to be like, this is the way, not the other way. The outcome doesn't matter. Do what you can control kind of idea. Doing like super motivational speech to myself every day. It was weird. Like morning, I'm like super happy, and then at night I was super dead, and then like at midnight I was like super happy, and then when I wake up I'm like super dead. It's just up and down and up and down. It was exhausting. And then July came along, and I'm like, hey, I'm alive now. Yeah, let's get back into streaming. But first, I need to fix my brain because I got a lot of wounds.
Yeah, got
So
got a lot of healing to do.
yeah, so now I'm out of the slump. But after being up and down for like 2 months straight, I'm just like, boy, my brain is fried. Let's just give it some time to heal. So then I'm like, okay, recovering, meditating myself, and then teaching my brain how to be like, hey, it's okay, mate, you're not dead, okay? You're cool, all right? Are we good? We're good. Got it? Got it. Have a lollipop. Yay, he took it. He's not broken anymore. So now,
But
middle of
are you
July.
serious about the lollipop thing? I'm actually curious.
You just gotta give yourself a lollipop and a pat on the back, all right? Have a cookie.
I'm a G.
I watched Big Hero 6 yesterday, and that's the only thing in my mind. It's just like, oh, Baymax comes up and it's like, have a lollipop. And I'm like, oh. But yeah, so now in the middle of July, I'm like, okay, let's get back into streaming. I already got a schedule made, but I never stuck with it, so I'm gonna try to stick with it this time. And then I'm like, great, good idea. And then last week, I think I did started like getting back into streaming last week or the week before. Anywho, I had the big brain idea, and I'm like, okay, for the entirety of August, I'm gonna go full try hard on streaming, and I'm gonna make it work, and it's gonna happen, and everything's gonna be fine. And if it doesn't happen, well, I don't know what's gonna happen afterwards. But hey, we'll just roll with it, kind of idea.
Roll with this.
And kind of taking the mentality of going with the flow.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, quarantine. I mean, not even quarantine. I mean, like beginning of the year with such a big change from. Like I'm not racist when I say this. I was in a black school, and like there were
Yeah.
constant noise and there were chaos, but you found peace in the chaos, if that makes sense. So,
Oh yes.
well, being in that environment for 5 years, and then because our high school is from grade 8 till grade 12, so that's 5 years. Or 4, I don't care how you debate about it. I think it's 5 years. Anyway, and after that, going to university, not knowing anybody, because like most people, like told me that they can't believe I'm socially anxious, but I am. Like beginning of this year, I couldn't speak with anybody. Like people came to me and they spoke to me, and I wasn't coping with the change at all. Like I mean, the classes we took, the way the people treated you, not in a bad way, but in a more mature way. And seeing like the different types of people around you, because I mean in school it's easy to see, okay, those are the people who play football or soccer, those are the nerds, those are the smart people, they are the teachers, but it's easy to identify. But when you're going to university or college or varsity, depending on what you call it, in which area you live in, seeing, oh, but those people are different, but those people are also different, but those people don't even match each other. Oh, but there's a different culture group. It it sort of amazed me to a point that I couldn't handle it. Then came to classes. Then after a week of university, I met one of my real close friends now. Have you ever watched Walking Dead?
Walking Dead a little bit.
Do you know how Carl looked?
Yes.
Now, my friend looked exactly like Carl.
No.
Like, exactly on point by hair, by eyes, by mouth. He looks exactly like Carl. And the irony is, he watched Walking Dead. That's one of his favorite series. And, like, that's how we met, and we started talking, and we started noticing we have nothing in common, but we can talk today. We can talk for 24 hours and we won't get bored at all. We will just make jokes. And the more I started hanging out with him, the more I started realizing, but I'm giving like this fake personality for people so that people can actually talk with me. Because I mean, like on stream during recordings or when I'm home with my friends, well, friends aren't allowed at my home because of quarantine. But I mean, in that sort of scenario, I'm more casual. I don't care what people think about me. I'm more of that. I'm more of a person that you can just discuss anything with and not be afraid to discuss it with. Um, but going to university, I was afraid of what people would think of me because yes, the shy kid who can't talk to anybody. Okay, you know what? Let's just give this forefront that he can talk to anybody and that he has the most ridiculous sense for humor and he laughs at everything and anything. So that started weighing on my mind after that. And when quarantine hit, I couldn't handle it, and I felt like in an immediate depression stage. And then I took like 3 months off from school, and we had school during quarantine. After quarantine hit, and we all went home for quarantine, school was still a thing. We went online classes, and I went to online classes, but didn't work at all. I didn't focus on anything because I was still in that deep depression state. And then
I could feel it.
And then, I mean, recordings and like streaming and that wasn't an issue for me to film. I mean, that was like my scapegoat. And then I started realizing, okay, but Adrian, you actually need to get up, shake the dirt off you, comb your hair, brush your teeth, eat a meal for once, and shower. Get the hell up. And then I started getting back into my schoolwork and stuff. And then I heard like a lot of my friends told me, but they also had this kind of depression. And like we called it, it's not even depression, it's just 2020 is such a sucky year that it weighs. It literally feels like a mountain on you. And when I started getting better, I told one of my best friends, Jared, I told him, when I go back to school one day, or back to university, I'm not going to be the same person as I was. I'm going to be the person I'm on stream when I'm with my friends. I'm not going to be I'm going to be the shy kid around everybody. I'm going to start presenting myself as Adrian. My surname, my surname is Afrikaans, so I can't say it. But I'm going to present myself as I present myself on stream and with my friends. And he told me, but aren't you afraid that people will think differently of you? And I said, yeah, I'm afraid of that. But I mean, if you can't accept me for who I am, then were you actually my friend? Like, you understand what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
And yeah, 2020 is such a sucky year for your emotional state. You're stuck in quarantine. I mean, hearing everything going around the world. I mean, I'm not sure how bad it is in Canada, but damn, South Africa is bad. I mean, police shoot you when they see you. And it's like the American riots. And like people literally break in each other's houses to get food. Not even because nicotine or cigarettes, whatever you call it, and alcohol, it's banned in South Africa. It's literally banned. If they find you with those substances, they will arrest you. So people break into houses getting food, getting alcohol, getting drinks to drink. And that's how bad it is. I mean, yeah, 2020 is such a sucky year. And if anybody makes it through, and I hope everybody makes it through, I mean, you will become a stronger person after 2020.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh,
Like
frick.
all this time in your house, it's like all this time to yourself. And then it's basically like I said this one time in my stream. It feels like you're just peeling away the skin day by day.
Yeah.
It's just like you're not putting up a mask in front of people subconsciously or consciously. You're just home alone, and then you're just seeing yourself differently. Like just it's a form of meditation where it's like, hey, you just sit by yourself and just think nothing and just see what's in your mind. It's like that, but everybody's doing it when they're quarantining themselves. It's just peeling away the masks, the skins, the hoods, the shirts, or whatever. It's weird.
Yeah, I mean, like, people make this joke. No, I can survive on an island alone for 100 days with water and with food and no one to contact. People joke about that, but once you actually start doing it, then you start realizing, but I can't actually do this. I mean,
Yeah.
you see these posts on Facebook. I still think, I don't know if it's still on Facebook, but you see these random posts that, would you live here for a month without internet, without Wi-Fi, with friends or without friends, with food and water, and we will pay you $1 million. And they say, yeah, I can live in that place for a month and not going outside. But once you actually started being in your own house, and you start realizing, okay, no, but being alone or being with the same people for a month and you see them every day, yeah, it kind of upsets you a bit.
Yeah, for sure. One big thing too, that people don't realize is I chatted with a guy over, funnily enough, on stream. I chatted with the guy and I'm like, hey, what is like this was during like the start of quarantine, and I'm like, hey, how's your quarantine been? And it's like, I never thought that I would miss work so much because it gives you a sense of like routine. Now you don't have that. Now you're just doing nothing.
Yeah, I mean, you joke usually about, but I'm like when you're chatting with friends or with family members or with your partner, when they ask you what you're doing, no, I'm doing nothing. But meanwhile, you're watching TV or you're watching Netflix, you're playing games. But you just say, I'm doing nothing, just to sound cool. But once you actually start typing it, especially during quarantine, it's in realization, but I'm actually doing nothing.
Yeah.
Like one of our business classes, because for IT you need a business class, and the teacher asked us that it's scary to think that in a year or two, when people interview us graduates for university or for like people graduating from grade 12 and looking for part-time job, the question they will ask you is, what did you do during quarantine productively? Or what productive thing did you do during quarantine that can help with this job? And then I started realizing, but I didn't do anything. I mean, yeah, I went to classes and stuff, and I like played games, but I mean, is that really productive? I mean, that's a very scary thought.
Yeah. Being in a productive mindset has to be a personality, I would
Yeah.
say. Like it's a personality of like being productive in my head anyway, because I watch TikToks, not TikToks, TED Talks, for fun because I'm just like seeing people talk about like, oh, how they got to their success and whatnot. And I was watching like Gary Vee and like people like them, and I'm like, man, it's a skill that you can learn, but it's also a personality trait
Yeah.
of being in that kind of a mindset.
I mean, like one of my friends, varsity friends, I mean, I asked him, I think a week or 2 weeks ago, I asked him, hey, what did you do during quarantine? Oh, nothing. I was just sitting on my ass all day and playing games. And I asked him, like, did you ever do like your varsity assignments and exams? And he said, no. What are those? And like for the assignments we were given a time period to hand it in, and then a recommended time period to hand it in, so that um the people who mark the assignments can actually give us our marks before our second semester starts. And like I asked him, so you didn't do anything, and the deadline for all our exams and assignments is in a week. I said, wait, it's in a week? And I said, yes. And he literally he stopped the Discord call, and then the next day messaged me for he literally asked me, can he use my material I used in all my assignments? He asked, can he use it and can he copy my exam work? I told him, no. I thought you did all the work, but now you're asking me to commit plagiarism, or you're asking me to accept. Frick, my English is bad. You're asking me to give my
Yeah, no,
work
no,
for
no.
you, and it must be plagiarism free. Like Varsity is gonna fail us both if I do that.
Yeah,
Um,
that's brutal, man.
yeah. I mean, yeah, 2020 is really, really bad. So talking about your Twitch career, your professional streaming career, what do you hope to achieve streaming on
I
Twitch?
hope to get somewhere. Like, I have, I won't say like I'm too big on number crunching, which means is like looking at the stats or whatever. Like, I like that idea of like doing it, and I like learning that kind of stuff. But like streaming, it is like I recognize that I am going against the odds. Like it
Yeah,
is brutal on how to like grow and whatnot, but let's so what's the question exactly? Like what am I hoping to get out of it,
yeah.
or
Do you want to become a Twitch partner, Twitch representative, or is it just like a
I
hobby
would
you want to do?
I always wanted to help people in a sense of like I always had that idea, like, you know, Mr. Beast, right? The
Yeah.
guy that gives out too much money to people. Yeah. I always I always wanted to be something like that.
Yeah.
Before I even realized Mr. Beast was an actual person. But like, I always wanted to be like, hey, if I ever get successful, I want to be able to influence and help other people. Like, I always think of myself like a step stool kind of idea, where I'm a useless piece of junk. Yes, I know that, but at least I can help other people get up to the next level kind of idea.
Yeah. Is it like
So,
regarding other streamers or like helping people in real life through your streams?
a bit of both, really. Like, I never thought of doing like charity streams or whatever because that's like completely new to me. I'm like, wait, people do that? That's genius. But like, I want to be able to grow large enough where I have an audience that will help other people. So let's say I get to like, I don't know, 40 viewers or something, and
Yeah.
I pop by to like one of my close friends or whatever who is trying to like grow a stream or whatever. I'm gonna just be like, hey, let's host this guy and see what happens. Let's give him a raid and just make his day or whatever. Do stuff like that, or like somehow help people by making their day or something,
I mean,
or
that,
like charity streams.
yeah. I mean, that's great. Like, fellow Twitch comments. I mean, I told like one of my friends, because he was tempted to go on Twitch to stream there, but since him and his friend, they both are streaming on YouTube now. And I told him that if I could choose, like if people gave me a choice, you only want one of the platforms, right? Not both, only one. I told him I wanted to watch Twitch because for me the Twitch community is, besides the stats, the Twitch community as a whole, I mean, it's one of the best communities I've seen thus far. I mean, one of the South African streamers I watched, I mean, it's so involved with the South African Twitch community because South Africa isn't a gaming nation, if I can put it like that, right? So we're a very small group of. I'm saying like I'm part of that group, but we're a very small group of South African streamers, and we help each other. Most South Africans go to Twitch because it's easier to manage, and YouTube algorithms is whack with South Africa. So that's also like one of the main reasons I prefer Twitch. And with Twitch is so much stuff to watch. I mean, you can watch art stuff, you can watch music stuff, you can just watch people interviewing each other with millions of viewers. Not millions, thousands. I'm talking.
Yeah.
And that's like the community I want to be part of. But since my Wi-Fi isn't one of the best, so I can stream on Twitch. I mean, YouTube is there. YouTube is there. Like, what I'm hoping to do with the Aiden Rogue channel is like now only gaming content and stuff, but you know, in the near future, when I become a game dev and I'm starting to work on my game and stuff, I want to move in a direction where I promote my game, I do interviews with other game companies, like behind the scenes stuff, you know.
Okay.
Because Jacksepticeye, I was watching his Last of Us series, and in one of the episodes he talked about there must be a channel somewhere that interviews game companies about behind the scene mechanics and stuff. And I thought, okay, why not research that? Why not see if there's actually such a channel on YouTube and Twitch? And funny enough, there isn't. There isn't a channel that covers game mechanics like behind the scenes. And so, you know what? That's what I want to do one day. Like, make this channel now for gaming and for like a bit of chatting and Q&As and stuff. And in a distant future, I want to make it behind the scenes. You know, have my game company one day, and then have the Agent Rogue channel where I have editors and I have an actual company in it, and then do interviews and ask behind the scene mechanics, and you know, just to give future game developers like a guideline on what they must focus in their games or not.
Okay.
I do, but Mr. Niloc, Mr. Tree, you still didn't answer my question about what you plan to do after high school.
After high school, that's it changes every time I think about it. But I think I'm debating, do I want to continue school after high school, or do I want to not? Like in this day and age, it's hard to answer the question, because it's like, oh, you can continue going to school, but with that degree of yours, what can you do with that kind of idea? So it's like, okay, ideally I want to go into music.
Yeah.
And I want to try to be a musician. Rather, probably not performance, but like composition wise, like create music kind of idea.
Yeah. Oh fudge. Sorry, I have to just I had a question.
I want to become the next marshmallow.
You said like on Twitter, like on DMs, you have a few questions you want to ask. Did you even ask the questions?
No, I haven't. I'm just kind of going with the flow, kind of idea. Let's start off with the first question. Oh, boy.
Official question.
Official question kind of idea. It's more like conversation starters being like, oh, so like one of them being like, hey, what made you decide to go into streaming? What was the original idea? Like, hey, I'm going to stream. What was that?
So, at first, like the Agent Rogue channel, the very start of the stuff I uploaded was wrestling videos of mine. I'm trying to promote myself as a wrestler. That went horribly wrong because of an injury I had. Then I deleted my stuff and I said, okay, you know what, I'm just gonna not do this and I'm gonna focus more on my studies. This was in grade 11, yes. And then, so grade 12 February, I uploaded one video and then it got immediately taken down because I had too many copyrighted songs on. And then when I started doing advertisements on my Facebook group about Dauntless, because I was part of the I was head of the Dauntless department on the Facebook group. So I did everything Dauntless created, share news, basically I had a Discord server on Facebook, if that makes sense. And then I started advertising, making clips, taking other people's clips, editing it, making it look cool. Just to make Dauntless look cooler than it actually is. Hollywood Dauntless. And then
Yes.
I started realizing, but I actually like, editing clips, making stuff look cool, making stuff look better than it actually is. And then I uploaded one of my first edits on YouTube in September, I think. And then I started getting into the motion. Okay, I can do this. I can make my stuff look cooler. And then in December, the head of the Facebook group of Xbox, he messaged me and he told me, can I create content for them of Dauntless, Fudge, to promote the game or do interviews with them on the channel. I said, yeah, I'm gonna do it, no problem. And then I quickly realized that this is a nice hobby to have to keep me occupied when I'm taking a break. Niloc, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here. I'm just listening.
A fudge. Professional streamer just crashed. And then I started realizing, okay, you know what? Maybe I should do this on my channel because before the Facebook group's story, I had a bunch of trials videos already up, and then I thought, okay, when I'm done with high school, I'll make more videos to keep me busy because we had a month break before varsity actually started. So I said I'm gonna record a bunch of stuff, make it look cool, and hopefully it can get views. And then this was the time when Dauntless was extremely broken, where I couldn't even play Dauntless because of the lag I had. I even made a video of it, why I'm not uploading Dauntless videos anymore. And in that video I had a bunch of clips where I had such bad lag that, my Kieran, right? I couldn't ride him at all. He shock blast hit me 5 seconds after he initially delivered the blast, and for 3 weeks I didn't play Dauntless at all because of the lag spike. I finished my blast in 1 week, and then for 3 weeks I didn't play Dauntless at all. Then when they announced they fixed the server issues in the next update, and Dauntless is gonna run smoother and stuff. Okay, I told myself I'm gonna start doing this again, and I started getting out of the motion, if that makes sense. I started becoming lazy, and then I discovered that I can play Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links on my laptop. I didn't know I could play it on laptop. I said, okay, this is the content I want to bring, and I want to play Dauntless also on this channel, and that's that. Then my friend told me, but Adrian, you're so... I'm getting stage fright here, my English is dwindling here. And my friend told me, okay, Adrian, you're sort of good on the mic, try streaming on Twitch. Because I told him I don't want to stream on YouTube. But Twitch, failed miserably, stream lagged, I hated every moment of it. And then I came on YouTube and I started doing that, streaming Yu-Gi-Oh! And then thought myself, okay, now I'm actually enjoying this, like taking a break from life and just staring into a camera. And now I'm crazy for a reason. Actually, when I talk to myself, there's no camera, but okay, there's a camera in front of me, so I'm not crazy anymore. And then that's when I started enjoying it, like doing it as a hobby and keeping me occupied, not thinking about stuff. And yeah, that's how I ended up getting you like 5 followers on Twitch. And
oh, that was amazing, man. Thanks so much for that. That was crazy when that happened.
now I can't actually believe that the tweet actually sent out. That's a surprise that no one likes my tweets except you and one of my friends, and then like 5 different people sub to you or followed you. I mean, and I thought, wait, so people actually read my tweets? That's shocking. That is super
Yeah.
shocking.
Oh, that was crazy, man. Absolutely crazy. Yeah, that was a day. That was a day. That was
16
that was like,
hours.
yeah. I was like, Mugsy was like, "Hey, bro, you should stream for like way too long," and I'm like, "Nah, nah, nah. I totally should. Yeah, yeah, yeah." I basically talked myself into it. He gave me the idea. I talked myself into it, and I'm like, "Hey, mine as well. I'm like going to get in trouble for this, but who cares?" So stood up all night. You woke up in the morning. You head off to school. You came back, and I was still alive.
Yeah, I had the morning online class and afternoon online class, and you were still streaming. Okay, no joke. Like while the professor was doing a presentation on one of the codes we had to do in the exams, he did a revision of it. I was literally watching your stream and like thinking by myself, is he gonna fall asleep? Is he gonna fall asleep? Is he gonna fall asleep? And then without noticing my mic was on, right? And I didn't switch off my mic on Zoom. And then people messaged me after class and they asked me, wait, Arjan, who are you talking to? Or who did you talk to? And I told them no one. And they told me, but you said over the Zoom call the entire time softly, don't fall asleep, don't fall asleep, don't fall asleep. And then I just never messaged them back after that scenario. I just told one of my close friends and I told myself don't fall asleep because I was extremely tired.
Oh my gosh.
And after your stream, like I literally thought you slept for 3 days straight because you didn't tweet anything about your recovery. I thought you slept for 3 days straight.
Oh man, that was so funny. Oh, oh wow, wow, that's great. But yeah, that was a hectic stream.
But let me
For
ask you
sure,
this
for
very
sure.
serious question, Mr. Law. Are you ever gonna plan on streaming 16 hours again?
Nah, probably not. Probably not. Hey, maybe in the future if I'm like old and responsible and I'm like allowed to, then maybe, but probably not.
Did your parents actually scold you for streaming 16 hours straight?
Not exactly. It was more like them being like, "Why did you stay up all night playing games?" Because I like maybe I pull all-nighters, but like not playing games. Like it's like me laying in bed, like watching YouTube at most. But it's like, why were you playing games all night? And I'm like, yeah, I didn't realize the time. Totally. It's like the sun was rising, and I'm like, I didn't realize the time.
But
And then I just walk away.
but did you like notice the time
It's more
after
like
a
less
while?
of them being mad. Oh, I was like looking at the watch and I'm like, nah, this is crazy. This is great. By like 4 o'clock, I'm like, boy, I am so dead.
Have you ever pulled the
uh,
all-nighter?
too many times. It's quarantine, man.
No, but I mean like before quarantine.
Before quarantine, rarely. Yeah, it really depends on like when I stay up late, it's usually due to my stress levels. Like that's how I gauge it.
Yeah.
So it's like, hey, if I'm like super fine, there's no tests at all, I'm like whatever, I can like go to sleep at an acceptable time would be 12 for me, like
Damn.
teenager, high school kid, don't hurt me. But yeah, it's like okay, whatever, watch YouTube, go to sleep, whatever. But it's like when it gets to like 1 o'clock or like 2 o'clock in the morning before I go to sleep, I'm like, boy, I'm stressed. for some reason. That's like a personal quirk. I stay up late,
Yeah.
and quarantine being, I rather get stressed out for no reason because the whole world is collapsing.
Yeah, the whole world is ending.
Like just subconsciously being stressed, or that, hey, I'm in my depresso mood or whatever, or hey, maybe my stream's not growing, or whatever, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, typical bedtime being like 3 o'clock. That's like really bad. And then some days I get like to sleep at like 7 in the morning. Not healthy, I don't think.
I mean, sleep is sleep. Like as long as you get like 8 hours of sleep, you can grow into a strong man or something.
There you go. Yeah, there you go.
I think before quarantine, because I'm not going to mention how many times I've pulled all-nighter during quarantine. Before quarantine, I've had 3 all-nighters in total. One of them I mentioned during my Scary Stories time stream last night. Like we had a ghost house at our school. But the other 2, the one was also at the school and the other one was at camp. At a school camp. And I had 5 when I was. I think you Americans or Canadians call it student body, or like the kids who like do the teacher's work, like monitoring the hallways and monitoring the class. I think you call it student body or something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We in South Africa we call it we call them prefects, because in Afrikaans it's literally the same word. So when I was prefect or student body, we had a scary night for the grade 8s to orientate them in the way of how our school works. And then I was in charge of the scary haunted house. Me with my twisted little mind, told my friends, just put on none for them and let me do all the work. So here's my quirk, right? I can't watch horror movies. Not because I'm scared, but because I laugh at scary stuff. That's my way to deal with scary stuff. I laugh. So people think I'm psycho when I laugh during scary movies. I'm not, but it's just my way to deal with scary stuff. So me with my little twisted mind told my friends, you know what? Let's make this whole freaking hallway, because we had this long hallway that you can stuff with chairs and with people, and it would look completely scary and you wouldn't know about it. And when they watched Nun, I told them about the kid who committed suicide. I'm afraid I'm not going to say the word on Twitch because I'm scared you're going to get banned. But like Mr. Toasted Water or Toaster Water, if you catch my drift. The S word. He committed the S word in the chemical lab. He drank a bunch of chemicals, he went under the leech and he died. And it's actually a true story because we found the skeleton in grade 8. So we told him the story and that the kid still roams these hallways. And there was this other teacher who committed sewage pipe in the biological lab. And that was a fake story though. And we told him all these scary stories. And I told one of my friends, and I told one of my small friends, dress up in full white. Just do that and stand in the middle of the hallway. And the grade 8s already terrified because I made one of the grade 8s pee themselves, and 2 of the girls running to the bathroom crying. I'm not proud of it, but yeah, I can really get pretty scary when I have to. And then I told them, go into school, find these stuff for me. And then I just hear screaming in the school. And our school isn't big, but it is soundproof. You won't necessarily hear people talking in the school if you're outside. So me hearing them screaming, like they screamed pretty loud. And then they all ran back outside with nothing. I told them, you're gonna get egg in your face and flour in your face if you don't get me these things I requested. I literally scolded a grade 8, like all 100 of them. And I told them, go back into school, I want this stuff. And said they couldn't, they saw a ghost, they saw a little boy, they saw a girl crying. And without me noticing, right, my friend was standing behind me, dressed in white, and I asked him, why aren't you inside the school? But he said, no, but I didn't give him the signal to go into school. And I asked the people, but what boy did you see? He said, no, a boy dressed in white. And I went in the school, right? And I saw my other friend. It's just as I saw my other friend who was newly prefect. We still had to orientate him that night. And then I asked him, why are you dressed in white when other dude was going to do the bit? I said, no, but he wants to terrify the people. And I asked him, but why? How did you terrify them? Oh no, he literally put fake blood on his face and he lifted up his mask and it looked like a piece of his flesh was hanging off him and you could see the skeleton bones because he was really good with 3D makeup. And
that's great.
And then I just saw the makeup and I laughed and I told him, you know what, from now on you're gonna be my scary guy. And I think that was the only all-nighter I pulled that I can remember. Most of the all-nighters I pull I don't remember because I sleep like 1 hour before the all-nighter ends. And then my friends take a picture of me. There's a picture roaming around my old friends group of them putting lipstick on my lips and doing my eyes because I have extremely long eyelashes. And then they gave me makeup. And I still haven't seen the picture at all. And I'm too afraid to see it.
Oh my goodness. That's funny.
Yeah, I mean, typical teenagers, am I right?
Yeah.
So, any other Q&As you have? Because my English is really starting to fail me now. I'm talking continuously.
No worries, man. No worries. Don't worry. Technically speaking, English is also not my first language. So, hey, we're in the same boat here.
What is your first language?
Technically, it's Chinese.
Speak Chinese?
Mandarin. Yes.
No, I mean, like,
from Taiwan. My mother is Chinese and my father is Canadian.
Yeah, but I mean, like, would you mind like speaking Mandarin, like saying hello or something?
Okay.
I've never heard Mandarin.
Chinese voice reveal. Oh man, this is going to haunt me forever. I know it already. All right. What should I say?
Just hello, like your hello. My name is Niloc or something.
Oh. 你好，我的名字是 Niloc.
Oh, what? No, I was taught the wrong language then. Then I speak Mandarin. Well, a bit of Mandarin then.
Oh?
My uncle taught me, like, I thought he taught me Japanese, and like I bragged with my friends that I can speak Japanese, and it turns out I'm speaking Mandarin all this time. That's why the Japanese people looked at me funny when I asked them the price of the watch I wanted to buy. They never understood me. That makes so much sense.
Oh no!
That makes so much sense.
不好意思，这手表多少钱？ Oh, excuse me, what's the price of this watch? And then like other people would just be like, excuse me?
But that makes so much sense. No, my first language is Afrikaans because I'm Afrikaans. Then I'm gonna say like English is my fourth language because I can't speak it well. I can speak 4 languages, but I understand like 6 or 7 languages. I understand German and Dutch.
Show up.
No, it's just like in South Africa there's a wide variety of people. Like there are
Yeah.
Indians, there are Japanese, there are Chinese, there are German people, there are Dutch people. So yeah, I start noticing what they're trying to say and start realizing, oh, so they're saying this. Um, I start.
Mm.
I learned how to speak Dutch. On a grade 6 camp when we were going to one of the cave systems in South Africa for one of our tours. And then there was this Dutch couple behind us, and I'm extremely claustrophobic. So when I started realizing about the cave is really getting small, I told like the teacher, I'm not going through this. I am super terrified. And then the Dutch couple told the teacher that they will watch me and taking back. Me, back then I was 12 years old, trusting complete strangers from another country to take me back outside. I mean, that's how naive I was. And then they took me outside, and they asked me, do I want anything? And they literally bought me like cola, and they bought me a burger, and they asked me, do I understand Dutch? And I said no, and I don't speak it. And they told me, okay, let us teach you the basics of Dutch, so you can at least brag by your friends that you can speak Dutch. And that's how I learned a bit of Dutch and started experimenting in Dutch, how to speak it and to understand it. So it has become extremely helpful, because I go on these tours every year, and then when I meet Dutch people, then I know, okay, they want this, and if I need something from them, I ask them in their language. It has helped me out a bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
But me talking Afrikaans sounds like I'm an angry Russian. No, like that, Gemma. If I speak in my first language and I sound super angry and I sound super depressed at the same time, I'm like that typical boomer grandpa who doesn't want you on their lawn and they will throw you with a brick or something.
Oh man, I still don't get how that stereotype became a thing. The angry grandpa.
One of my friend's grandpa was acting like that. Like when he first saw me on his lawn, when my friend introduced me to him, he literally pulled out his rifle and he aimed it at me and he told me to get off his lawn. And my friend screamed at his grandpa and he told him, but no, it's my friend is sleeping over, we're going into the guest house. That was the first time I saw a gun pointed at me.
Oh my goodness. That is horrifying.
I mean, it wasn't like any rifle, it was this old war rifle's vintage rust on it. It looks like it could kill you with, not with the bullet, but with rust itself. And with poison of the rust. Not with any bullet or something, just rust, pure rust. The rust will kill you.
Oh my goodness, that is so funny. That's great.
Yeah. Adult
But
fun
yeah,
stories.
do you got any questions for me?
You know, if you literally like asked me this morning, I would come up with anything. And this is actually very good practice because I want to do this interviewing people as well.
Hmm.
You don't have any brothers or sisters, right?
I have one sister, 3 years younger than me.
Oh, okay. So, okay, let me ask you
She's
this.
an
If this
adorable
is...
little brat.
I'm so glad I'm my only child. I've like 2 stepbrothers, but they're out of the house already, so yay me.
Man, what?
No, speak?
Man, like, why when I hang out with people, they're only siblings? Like, I would have to say, half of my friends are like they're the only child. Like, what is wrong with me?
So
It is so weird.
All my friends are only child. Like I have had one friend. It sounds like he's dead, but we're not friends anymore. I had one friend that had 2 brothers, but like when I used to hang with him, the 2 brothers would always go out, so I would never see them. So I went over to his house. We had sleepovers at his house, And I like out of the 4 sleepovers, I've never saw his brothers, but he keeps on telling me he has brothers and he has showed me their rooms. To this, I don't believe he has brothers. I think he sees ghosts or something. But
Yeah.
I mean, I've never seen his brothers. Now, I really had the question and I completely forgot about it. Oh, that's what I wanted to ask. If it's not personal, not right, because I've always wanted to know this about people having like multiple cultured parents, if I can say that.
Okay.
Like, is it weird having parents that speaks 2 different languages?
Huh. I guess I never really thought about that. It's not that strange. It's strange sharing, like, oh, when someone comes over and you're speaking a different language, like, let's say it's Canada. Most people speak English. Some people speak French. Well,
Yeah.
there you go. But like, let's say you go over to a friend's place and you're like chatting English with them, and then you don't know a sweet clue about French because who pays attention in French class? Am I right? You just go to sleep. Like that's the class. That's your nap class. All right. French class is your nap class. so nobody knows French. So it's like, okay, you go over to your friends, like, hey, how's it going or whatever, and then the mother comes up speaking in your head gibberish, but it's actually French. And it's like, oh, hi, how's it going? And it's like, oh, mother, he's English speaking, and it's like, oh, yes, hello there. And then you're just like, what did she just say? It's like, oh, she's gonna murder you at night. And I'm like, excuse me? Is you sharing that to somebody else? Like, oh, you go
Niloc, you kind of broke up there, but
whatever. So it's always weird speaking, like somebody comes over and then you speak, let's say in my instance, Chinese to my mother all the time, and then English to my father. So it's like, oh, hey mom, can you help me with this? But I speak that in Chinese. And then my friend just looks at me weird, and I'm like, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. But it just feels normal, but weird to share. Kind of
yeah.
feeling.
I remember back in the old days when friends used to have sleepovers. Like for my English friends, if they came to my house, both my parents are Afrikaans, so usually I don't speak English with them. I mean, if I do it in front of English people, so if I talk Afrikaans to them, my friends would totally go berserk and they would like be guilted and like gossip about them. And I just told them, no, but I asked about when the food is ready. Or I would tell them, like one instance, I asked my mom that can my friend sleep over for an extra day because my mom won't. Hi Astro. That my mom, or that his mom couldn't pick him up. So in Afrikaans it translates like kan the name oorslaap weer. And he completely thought that I told my mom that I'm gonna kill him or that are we going to cook him. He was terrified. And I told him no, I just asked my mom, can you sleep for an extra day because you told me that your mom couldn't pick you up. I don't know what you guys call it in Canada, but end of the year when you graduate, you guys call it graduation ceremony. We call it a valedictory.
Okay.
So when we had the valedictory, all the parents of the children came. And one of my really good girl space friends, like one of her mother came and we talked with her mother, and they talked Afrikaans on me and my mom. We spoke Afrikaans with each other. So they were speaking their language, Xhosa, and I was speaking my language, Afrikaans. And then we looked at each other and started laughing. Because one, I can understand her Xhosa, and she can understand my Afrikaans. So
Yeah.
the mothers couldn't understand each other, and we laughed because we know what we're saying to each we laughed because we knew what we were saying to our mothers, but the mothers didn't understand what we were saying. Oh, fudge! My brain just melted trying to think up a sentence. Fudge! My brain just melted. Okay, long story short, it was one of the awkwardest moments in my life because we understood each other's languages, but our mothers didn't. So yeah, short story. Wait, so you speak 2 languages, right?
I do.
Now, do you have French class?
French class we used to.
Before quarantine or after quarantine, I mean, or whatever.
Just give me one moment. My mic is acting up on stream.
Yeah, your mic kind of broke up on Discord.
Yeah, just give me a quick second.
Technical difficulties. Jazz music playing in the background.
There we go.
Mic fixed. Professional streamer. Ow.
Hopefully. Roxy, is everything okay? It's probably okay. It looks good. Yeah.
Do you have like an actual setup, or are you like at the desk with your PC and you're doing chat off your phone or something?
I have everything on one monitor. So it's like super cluttered, but hey, I'm used to it.
Oh man, my OCD just kicking thinking about that. Oh. Like I use my phone for chat and I use my laptop for the gameplay. So if anything is wrong, I don't know about it. If anything goes wrong, I don't know about it. And my friend who's supposed to be my moderator doesn't tell me anything because he doesn't watch my streams. And it kind of makes me angry because like usually I have to watch his full 3 to 4 hour streams. And the small streamer he is, he gets a lot of people spamming crap. And a lot of people like asking for shoutouts and stuff. And like I have to watch the entire 4 hours of that. He usually watches 10 minutes of my stream. And that's that. So after 10 minutes, when something goes wrong, I don't know about it until I watch the stream. Like after the stream ended, I watch it. Then YouTube tells me, oh no, but you have to wait 12 hours for you to actually edit this clip or edit your stream. And then I just leave it. And like half of the streams on my channel, I just don't bother to edit because like, I mean, it's so much work. Editing like 2 to 3 hours of footage, it's so much work.
It is. I tried doing that once and it's brutal. It's very brutal.
I said on one of my videos that I mean it takes me 3 hours if I record footage, not stream it. It takes me 3 hours to edit footage and then it takes me 2 hours to upload. So I spend 5 hours a day, and that's outside recording, right? So it takes me 5 hours to get the clip ready for YouTube. Recording usually takes 1 hour to 2 hours because depending on how much gameplay I have. With Yu-Gi-Oh, right? I mean, I play the game for 2 hours, but my videos used to be like 30 to 40 minutes. So with 2 hours of gameplay, taking 3 hours to edit, and then taking 2 hours to upload, so I would have 7 hours of a day that I would just spend on one video.
Yikes.
So that's also one of the main reasons why I started streaming, because I just don't care anymore. Like, I mean, like my link and everything is in the description, and like I would, after the stream, I would just put in like all the subscribe and like playlist and recent video. I would put that like after the stream became a video, and that's that. I
Yeah.
don't bother after that.
Now here's something I learned along the ways of me being I love learning stuff, and I developed this shortcut, I guess. It's kind of like, think of stream highlights, where let's say you do one thing, but you can split it up into multiple pieces of content for elsewhere. So like
Yeah.
you do a stream, and then yes, you can like edit down that stream, but like keep in mind of like, hey, what do you want to make? So like, for example, like this new Dauntless update, I'm still bummed that I can't play it like when it released, but hey, I did it yesterday, whatever. So I basically
Niloc your mic. Mr. Niloc your mic.
doing that, let's just cut out this part of my stream and just plop it on YouTube. There we go. Done. It's like recording and streaming, but at the same time.
I heard half of the conversation because your mic gave out.
Why?
It goes static. Professional streamer.
Okay now, or is it still static?
No, it's fine now. It like bugs out every 20 minutes or every 30 minutes, but it's fine now.
Alright. Well, anywho, it's what I did was like, hey, I like doing these like showcases of like the hunt pass. So basically, I spent 10 minutes in my stream looking at every hunt pass, and I'm gonna just like edit that down, or like just take that clip out and then just slap it on YouTube and say, there, video done.
I mean, it's still content. Like,
Yeah,
I mean, Odo, Revy, and like all the Dauntless partners do that. It's still content. Now,
but it's like really hard to record.
You know what I just did?
Doing something.
Like, I record this stuff and just never upload it on YouTube because I just think, but why did I just talk about the hunt pass and discuss what's nice or not? Like that, like that feels like cheap content. Like for me, for me, like it feels like cheap content. I mean, it's different if an actual Dauntless partner does a video on that because like they know actually what they're talking about. Yeah, I know this weapon looks cool. I know these tonics are crap. Oh, you get this much vault points. I don't get it. It's just me feeling like a toddler and talking a bunch of random words and hoping it's content.
Oh. Yeah, I get that feeling a lot.
Now,
that's why I never really record myself. I always preferred streaming. Maybe because I've done it longer, done it for a longer time. But like recording myself saying something is like, it just feels so weird. It's like a script or whatever.
yeah.
Like, am I talking like an actual person, or is this more like a speech?
The thing I told my friend that if I mistakenly speak my first language, because I have done it on recording and I had to cut it out, but if I mistakenly speak my language, my first language on stream, I'd rather keep it in because then people know that I'm actually a human and that I'm not perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, like there's a bunch of, not a bunch, it sounds like I have 500 streams. One of my streams, without me noticing, I spoke Afrikaans for 10 minutes straight, and that's without noticing. And like for that entire section, I just thought, you know what, I'm gonna keep it in. I'm gonna keep the stream, and if people want to ask me what I said, I'm just gonna say I said this, I said that, not cursing or anything. There's a lot of Afrikaans swear words are the same as English, so most people can understand what I say. Not that I swear in Afrikaans, but I mean, You know, the swear
There's
word
some similarities.
slips out once in a while. It
Yes.
slips out, especially when I rage at the game. So, there was another question I wanted to ask actually. Every time when we're done talking, I completely forget what I wanted to say. How long are you actually like planning to do the just chatting? Because we're well after the 1 hour and 30 minutes.
I don't know. We can keep going.
Okay, it's your stream. I'm just a guest. I'm just a guest.
You're just a guest.
Yeah.
Well, I wanna ask you. At least I wanna ask you one more thing. So I guess it kind of sort of already answered this, like how you got into Dauntless, really. Um,
When
I
did I
wonder
answer Dauntless?
how did you discover Dauntless?
So actually during I'm not gonna like mention other streamers because I feel like it's your stream. So during one of
Nah, it's fine. It's fine.
one of the Noob to Pro series I wanted to do with the streamer, he asked me the same question, and like I feel I'm gonna answer it differently now. So how I got into Dauntless is not a funny story, but it's like a weird story. When I started getting into online gaming, my friends told me, you know, you should try Fortnite, you should rank 90s, you should like use aimbot to win and everything. And like I played Fortnite for a bit, like for a month, and then my friends ditched me. Like they never played Fortnite with me again. And I wasn't that good at the game. I sucked. I felt like the bag of sad balls. I sucked. So first, before Dauntless, I went into Apex, sucked again. I went into Monster Hunter World, and I sucked there as well. Mainly because I didn't understand the game mechanics at all. And the community was so toxic. Monster Hunter World community was so toxic. And then I discovered Dauntless through Mini Lad, because he played it a bit on his channel. And then I thought myself, no, I want to actually try this game. It looks fun. It doesn't look hard. And then my friends told me, no, you should play the game because they're playing it. They're well on slay level 20 and stuff. And I said, okay, no, I think I'm gonna play the game. When I did a tutorial, slayed Lessic and Asher, then they popped up with me the unpass that you look like a ninja, and I browsed through the store. I saw the summoning dog emote. That's when I decided, no, I'm gonna play this game. I'm literally gonna play this game because of a summoning dog emote. Now I'm a major anime fan. I mean, all my friends know. All my friends know that. I mean, if I don't watch shows, I watch anime. It's very rare that I watch YouTube for a week straight. It's usually like YouTube twice a week, then anime, full on anime. So then I saw the summoning dog emote. It reminded me on an anime. And I thought, asked my mom, can I buy this, please? She said, are you actually gonna play the game? I said, yes, I'm gonna play it. And then I bought the summoning dog emote. I looked cool. I looked like the anime character. And then I saw the hunt pass, and I thought, asked my mom, can I buy the hunt pass? And then my mom, but you already spent like 200 rand. I don't know how much US dollar that is. Oh yeah, and I thought, but please, I'm gonna like work hard on my exams and stuff. And she said, fine. She literally sighed when she said, yes. Full time. I started playing for a month straight. I didn't know what I was doing. I was still on slay level 10 for a month straight, and I didn't know what I was doing. So I watched one of Odo's videos, and then started getting into the rhythm from, okay, this is what I wanted to do, this is what I have to grind, this is what I need to do, and this is what I need to grind. Getting into the motion, and this was also the time that I was This was when I was extremely depressed as well. But chronically
Okay.
depressed, not actually depressed, chronically depressed.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so then Dauntless sort of helped me in a sense because Dauntless, I compared Dauntless to life. I mean, if the behemoth is hard, take a different approach, take a different loadout, get stronger, upgrade, fight it again until you defeat it. That's how I compare life. I mean, the problem is too big to face. Take a different approach, take a different mindset, then get stronger, go back into the problem and solve the problem. Um, and that's actually how I got through my depression. Then I started realizing what Dauntless means more to me than a game after 5 months. Then on my 6 months, I made the clip of how I went from Soul Killer to Agent Rogue. Because Soul Killer was my game attack back then. When I went from Soul Killer to Agent Rogue, and when I started making clips and started actually making content, and then December, I told my mom that I wanted to get another tattoo, but I wasn't sure about it. My friends told me get a Dauntless tattoo, but I said, but not yet. If I play Dauntless for a year, I'm gonna get the tattoo. But for now, I got the other tattoo, the PMA tattoo, positive mental attitude, and then when 1 year hit for Dauntless, that's when I noticed, okay, but I'm highly addicted to this game. I have my crown. I'm grinding this game 24/7. I have no social life left. Um, and then I told my mom, okay, you know what? End of the year, I'm gonna get my Dauntless tattoo, but I haven't decided on the design yet. And then, okay, rewind back. Then when we were asked at the beginning of the year, what do you want with our IT degree? A bunch of people said no, they want to make the apps. One of the people said they want to make a PG 18 Plus app. I'm not going to mention the name. And a lot of the women said no, but they want to like work for companies. And then my friend, the Walking Dead kid, he said no, he wants to become a game dev, but a horror game dev. And then when it was my turn, I told them I want to work for Dauntless one day. And after that, get enough experience, and then I want to create my own game and my own game engine one day. The whole class laughed at me because I said that. And then the teacher smiled at me and she told me that you're the only kid who has originality in this whole class. Because you know actually where you want to work and where you want to be one day. And out of like curiosity, she asked me, but what do I want my game's name to be, and what's my game engine's name one day? And I told her that my game one day will be called Youngblood because that was the first ever nickname that was given to me. And my game engine, I wanted to call it the D-Rogue, for Dauntless and my rogue persona, D-Rogue.
Oh, yeah.
That's all. And then she wanted to ask me about other stuff, but when I answered that question to her, then I realized, okay, Dauntless is my game. I'm not gonna change very soon. Even if it was laggy, if I rage, Dauntless is my game.
That's great.
It's a very long answer to a very short question.
Nah, it's perfectly fine, perfectly fine. Yeah, for me, Dauntless really came out of nowhere. Like I remember, back when like Fortnite came out or whatever. It's just like, oh yeah, you got the Epic Games and whatnot, and then like you like gotta launch your Epic Games to get into Fortnite, whatever. I remember one time when I launched it, I'm like, oh, there's this new game, Dauntless. And I'm like, hey, friends, Dauntless is coming out. And they're like, yeah, let's give it a try. And this was like last year. Uh, I forgot when, like last year, April or whenever, when Dauntless came out in the Epic Games. And I'm like, sweet, this is a cool game. My friends aren't interested. I guess I'm not playing this game anymore. So I took like a break off of it. Plus, when Dauntless first came out, there wasn't really much. Like I
Yeah,
think like repeaters just came out at the time, so it's just like wow, this sixth weapon, wow, that's great. Um, but there wasn't much to the game. There was your hunts and your trials, and your patrols, and like that's pretty much it. And like your trials and whatnot. But we didn't know that because we never bothered leveling up. So now coming back to it, like I think early this year, this also ties back into like, hey, how I decided to stream. Originally, I started streaming because everybody else was like, "Hey, let's give this streaming thing a try." Because it's summertime and we're gotta try new things because we're
yeah.
bored high school people. So yeah, I gave that a try. Whatever. But to the Dauntless story, earlier this year, like January, I had a buddy who decided to start streaming, and he absolutely blew up in Dauntless, and I'm like, man, don't do me like that. So I'm like, hey, I'm gonna get back into Dauntless because it's like, hey, I remember playing this game. Let's see what the game is like. There's a new update coming out. Malcarrion. Sweet, I'm down. So yeah, he basically helped me finished my story, completed the story, so I can actually get into Dauntless to its fullest. Seeing like the trials, the escalations, all the different creatures like Rezakiri, Shroud, whoever, Riftstalker, just all the creatures. I'm like, wow, that's a lot of stuff in the game, like a lot. So then I stuck with it. And me personally, I grew up playing MMORPGs,
Yeah.
and if you ever played an MMO, you know how freaking grindy it is to just
Yeah.
either level up or like get resources. Yeah, I grew up playing that stuff, so for me, I enjoy grindy games, strangely enough. So I'm like, sweet, Dauntless is a fancy word for grind fest. I love this game. You just gotta keep doing patrols to get those orbs and level up your gear. That's the name of the game.
So, so get this, right? I I never played a MMORPG ever before Dauntless. I was usually into like adventurous games, um,
Oh, okay.
or in simulation games. That was my forte. Also in fighting games. I'm an expert in
Yeah.
fighting games.
Oh, okay.
So that was my forte. Playing Dauntless, it was the weirdest thing ever. Like, wait, this is grinding. I don't like it. With simulation, you have everything, or with fighting games, okay, now you have to like complete 3 missions to unlock this. There was this one
Yeah.
game called Alone in the Dark with Margin. It was on Xbox 360. That game was the only
Okay.
adventure game that I ever played that wasn't grindy. But games like Last Remnant or Blue Dragon or Final Fantasy, those games were grindy as hell. I I I still have actually my like stats on Last Remnant. I played that game for 2 years, right? And the
Hmm.
amount of hours I've put in was over 200. Um,
Oh my
in
days.
2 years, I've over 200 hours in that game. That's how grounded it was, and I still never finished the game. I still never finished the game, and and there were so many times that I wanted to download the game on my laptop on my Xbox One, but I couldn't because you can't because the game is too big for one disc or one file save.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So the game was split into 4 discs. I was only to disc 3, and and I spent over 200 hours with 3 discs. I never came to disc 4. There isn't YouTube footage on how the game ends or nothing. So it's like That's my type of grind. So coming to Dauntless, an online grinding game, I was super unhappy when I have to realize I have to slay this behemoth alien so many times just so I can get his freaking tail or his red drop. I mean,
Oh, don't get me with tail drops now, man.
and oh,
Oh my
dude,
god.
I asked like my friends to carry me with Scorched and Hellion because I couldn't fight him. I couldn't, and like seeing
Hellion is brutal.
and like seeing prismatic races bubble over me when they revived me, and seeing them coming coming back as a ghost with tragic echo, and I thought, nah, this is what I want to do. And then it told me, no, but you have to break parts under 2 minutes. This was before escalation. So before escalation it was nearly impossible to break a part under 2 minutes. Because you didn't have that much damage, you didn't have any escalation boost to help you. So, oh damn! And when the shroud bug came out, I could never make, or I could never plus 10 the hunger sword till shock escalation, the second hunt pass. That's when I maxed out my hunger. This was 7 months after playing Dauntless, and hunger was hunger was maxed out after 7 months. I tell the newbies who I play with on the Discord server or with my newbie friends, I tell them, you guys are so lucky. You have people to carry you. Back when I played, I never had people to carry me. If Rage Ganache did his tail slap, I was done for. I just quit game, restart, resupply, rage a few sessions, carry on.
Oh man, I remember watching a video by one of the Dauntless creators. I forgot who he is. But basically he did a YouTube video on like, oh, how like his YouTube journey or whatever. And since he was a Dauntless creator, he talked about back in the day Dauntless when there was no I call this guy Master Chief, but the middleman, he wasn't a thing. So
Yeah.
it was near impossible to get 3+3 cells. And if you had it, you were the luckiest guy.
Yeah.
Kind of idea. And I'm like, bro, that's insane.
When I started playing with the Dauntless, that's when Middleman released. So I didn't know how big thing it was till my friends told me who played before Middleman. And they told me, but I'm lucky. Back then, yeah, I may be lucky, but players now, newbie players now, you have training grounds, you have more people to carry you.
Oh yeah, you got the training grounds now.
You've got literally tutorial on every weapon. When I started playing, I didn't have that. I didn't have a tutorial, anything. I just went to the hunt hoping I'm not gonna die or anything. Mid-hunt, scroll through my move set, remembering the moves quickly, get back into the hunt.
Yeah.
But what do you think of New Ramskate?
New Ramskate, I love it. I really, really like it. I think the best part about it is not necessarily all the lore, but I really do appreciate that. Like all the hidden things that you can interact with. I think it's more of it being so large. Like when I first came on yesterday, I'm like, bro, this is a proper hub world.
Yeah.
This is like so proper. It's large, it's massive, and you can go to a lot of places. Like beforehand, like well, what's this guy's name? The guy that you the blacksmith guy.
Yeah.
Wills Borman or whatever.
Yeah, Wills Borman.
Him. Yeah. His blacksmith, you can't go into it.
Yeah.
It was like walled off by an invisible wall. But now you head over to like the blacksmith or like the striker's upgrade area. You can like head into all these rooms and like, go behind them and everything. And I really like that.
With old Dauntless or old Ramskate, like you had to throw a grenade emo to discover where the invisible walls are. With New Ramskate, almost every area is accessible. I mean, you can hide
Yeah,
behind buildings on the edge of the map, and you wouldn't be thrown off
yeah,
by a wall. I mean, at this one AFK spot, it's on the tippy top of, you know that where Gregorio is the hunt fast dude, now he's
yeah.
huge pedestal and stuff. I found a way to like be on the tippy top of the huge pedestal, and that's my AFK spot because I don't know if it was a thing for you, but when I wore my crown, because it's now taken off because there's a huge crown glitch that your crown won't display. So I took the crown off. But
Yeah.
back when I had my crown on, I had spam invites 24/7 when I head into Dauntless. Now I just go up to my AFK spot. People don't usually get there. Make my loadouts, chill, see how beautiful Ramsgate is.
Ah,
Sword rework though, what do you think? There's a lot of mixed opinions about sword rework.
sword rework. I would say it wouldn't change me into a sword main.
Yeah.
I meant I. It's weird. It's weird. It's really weird. It's a needed change for sure. Like the old sword was very simple. There was very little depth, and I enjoyed that they added depth to the sword.
Yeah.
But I personally won't change to a sword main.
What is your
I
current
can't.
mine at the moment?
Um, sorry.
Like, what weapon do you main at the moment? You use?
Currently, I still really like using the hammer.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a big hammer fan. Not because I like using war hammers in games. It's just because I really like the heft that it gives and the amount of like the feeling of it.
Yeah.
But the more I play with sword, the more I realize it's like okay, before the sword was like a long sword, where it's like oh you do the slashes and whatnot. But now it's like a great sword where you can do like your heavy attacks and it really feels really good
Mm,
playing with the sword.
I mean, I said this during like the stream before the Dauntless update that the one move I like where you sweep the ground and there's the beam. That move reminds me so much on one of my favorite characters in a game I used to play, Warriors Orochi. Where this dude with this with this big ass hammer, he dragged it around, and his special move was sweeping the ground and making a ditch and sweeping enemies up in the air with like a blast similar like that. And when I saw this, I told one of my friends, I'm becoming a sword mine only for that move. I removed all my striker loadouts. I have one striker loadout, and I have 4 different swords. That's that. I have 4 different swords.
Oh man. What made me really excited for the sword update was the held light attack where when you dash forward
Yeah.
into the creature and I'm like bro when I played when I was younger I played this MMORPG called Star Wars The Old Republic where
Yeah.
basically you can become like a Star Wars character. So one of them being like hey you can play as a Jedi and one of their moves is you whip out your lightsaber and you jump towards your target. And I'm like, that's the coolest thing because you're flying across the air attacking your target with your sword. It's cool. When they added that, and I'm like, bro, they did that. That's cool.
Yeah. I mean, soldier work is super fun at the moment.
It is.
The only problem I'm facing is that I can't dodge with the sword anymore. I completely suck with the sword. So like,
The feeling of sword feels slower. It feels more like it reminded me of strikers quite a bit when I
yeah.
play with the sword.
I mean, like, I heard one of the game, not the game devs, one of Dauntless partners, like said during his stream that they're planning on making all the weapons like that sort of, where you have to build up meter and build up points, if I can say it like that, to deal devastating damage. I like the idea, But if you need to constantly build up stuff for damage, right? Then
Yeah.
trials and escalation will become extremely tedious. Like you don't have a bunch of damage off the bat. You have to work yourself up to damage.
Yeah.
So for instance, if the axe would work like that, the axe has a very simple meter. Build up meter, throw axe, build up meter, throw a axe, right? If they bring that point
Yeah.
system in, that you have to have like 5 points in order to do this attack. We have to have 3 points to throw the axe. I mean, that would become super tedious.
Yeah.
But I mean, still, the sword needed a rework. I mean,
Yeah.
sword
The
needed.
the rework, the act of the rework, I really enjoyed. Like, hey, they did a rework of a weapon that needed a rework. That's great. Not a lot of games do that. I really appreciate it. Um, how they did it, I also liked it. Like the play style of the sword, I can see. It's like, wow, it's the sword play style kind of idea. It got that distinctive play style, and I really like that. It's just, I guess it's conflicting because I still won't use the sword.
Yeah,
It's not like it's winning any awards or anything. It's just, hey, now it's viable for the people who do like using the sword.
yeah, I get it. I mean, I think after the sword rework, I think they're focusing on the bow. I'm curious how that will work out. Like, if you have a bow
Oh
weapon,
yeah,
I mean, it's
I
already
heard word
leaked.
that they're using a bow now.
I mean, it's already leaked. I mean, a few people suggested the bow could like do ranged wounding damage. But I mean, like I feel like you don't need another wound weapon. You already have the pike. You don't. I mean, I know there's 3
Yeah,
different stun weapons and 2 different part weapons, but I mean, wounding it's not that great of damage. Um,
nah.
I mean, unless they rework wounding in a way, but I mean, you don't need another wounding weapon. Bow, on the
Yeah,
other hand, I'm curious how that will work because you can't have infinite attack speed on a bow and shoot like the flash with your bow and arrow. That's just
yeah,
unrealistic. But
yeah.
but
You
then
have repeaters for that.
yeah, but then again, you can't make the bow slow because then no one will play it. So I'm really curious how that will work out.
I'm thinking that, there's a light and heavy. What I'm thinking is that they would like, I'm just coming up with these combos right on the spot. So there would be like a light heavy where it's like one arrow, second arrow, and then when you do your heavy, it's like a split shot or like a scatter shot.
Yeah,
So it's like, hey, if you're at range, you'll do the same amount of damage as one arrow when they hit. But if you're close up, that scatter shot would do triple damage.
I
And then
mean,
your base heavy attack would just be a charge shot.
yeah, I mean they can take a lot of ideas from different games because, for instance, Black Desert, that it doesn't depend on the range on how much damage you do. It depends on the attack. For instance, they have only 3 attacks. You have your basic bow shot. You have your, as I call it, the flippy diddly do attack because you do 5 backflips and do a triple bow shot. And
Oh, that would be cool.
and then you have your energy shots, which you do a power shot and you instantly kill enemies. Now, obviously, Dauntless can't make insta kills, obviously, but like I mean, like rework that, like
Yeah.
the energy shot instantly stuns a behemoth or deals like 50% stun damage.
Yeah.
And the flippy diddly do extra part damage or like give extra attack speed to yourself. I mean, there's a lot of experimentation they can add. They can do there. They can do there. There we go.
Yeah. What was I thinking with the charge shot is like, Hammer has that charge up ability with its heavy.
Yeah.
Where it like has that range attack. Yeah, I was thinking something like that. For like the heavy ability.
There's so much stuff that. Okay.
There's a lot of potential. There is a lot of potential.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but I really like how you upgrade your repeaters in a sense.
I really don't like it. You have to, like, if they lessen the materials you need, because you need 25 arc stone, shining arc stone, or peerless arc stone, sorry,
Yeah.
for one part. For one part. Like, I mean, if they had like 5 arc stone per part, then that's understandable. But 25 for one part, and there's 3 parts of a repeater. So basically, you need 75 shining arc or peerless arc stones for one full repeater for one level, and that's like the first level.
Yeah.
So that's way too much running. I mean, my repeaters are still level 2, and I have one part that's maxed out, but that's that. Like, I really don't plan on upgrading my repeaters till max, till they make a repeater with rework or something.
Yeah, the pricing on the repeaters are really off. But like what I was thinking of is that I like how there are separate parts
Yeah,
to the repeater itself.
I
So you
mean,
can like fully customize like what you want. Like the amount of prisms, like I'm looking at it right now and I'm like, why is there so many?
and they're planning on adding more and more.
Yeah. And like all the different play styles you can do it. Like I'm just looking at it now. I'm like, wow, that's just all these different abilities and stats.
Yeah,
And whatnot.
the sad thing is that like people don't usually play repeaters because of the amount of speed stuff you need for the repeaters to be an actual viable weapon. I mean,
Yeah,
I mean,
it's rough.
when I did repeaters or when I played repeaters a bit, I just felt like the momentum stops every time when your speed stops. So like you're shooting like a Gatling gun for 2 minutes and then suddenly stops. You do one shot every 2 seconds. That's one of the main reasons why I stopped playing repeaters. I feel like I'm getting super tired because it's like 10 past 9. Um, and then
Okay.
yeah, I'm not rude, but yeah, we have been streaming well over 2 hours at the moment. I don't want to like occupy your entire stream because you still have stuff to do.
It's fine. It's fine. It's mainly just like, hey, bring somebody on that I kind of know, and it's just like, hey, let's just chat and get to know each other. Yeah.
We can do this again. Like, sounds like I'm breaking up with you or something. We can be in a relationship again. I'm joking. Yeah, we can do this again. Like, I don't know how to word it. I really don't want to sound like I'm breaking up with you or anything. You can also notice when I'm tired, I can't speak, so.
Yeah, true.
Okay, wait. I just
Yeah,
want to
I
put
guess
my stream over
we'll end it
thing.
there then. 2 hours is a good chat.
Yeah,
Covering a
I'm
lot
sure
of
like people won't spend 3 hours watching people talk to each other. I mean, if it was an actual interview on your future goals, I'm sure like people will probably watch that, but yeah, people just friends just joking around or something. I'm sure 3 hours won't cut it. But yeah, I'm just like gonna say like on stream, go follow Niloc on his socials, Twitter, Facebook. I'm joking about Facebook. On his
go check out Rogue's Facebook and everything. Hey, I'm pushing my people to you.
yeah, follow him on Twitch. Making 1,000 followers so you can do this full time. Go on YouTube, make it monetized, then you can make big bucks after grade 12. Big
Yeah.
money. But
Very epic.
it was a pleasure, Mr. Niloc.
Oh, it was nice chatting with you too.
We should do this again.
That'll be good fun.
Yeah. I mean, we still have to play Dauntless again. I mean, it feels weird that we only play on stream together.
Yeah. Maybe we should go hang out, like, maybe off stream sometime. I don't
Yeah,
know.
that sounds like a great idea, so that it looks like we aren't fake friends or anything for content.
Oh man, I feel so bad. Monkey put this to me once last week, where it's like, hey, you know you're allowed to play games off a stream, right? And I'm like, that never came across my head.
Like only fake games for
Why?
content.
It's just this epiphany that just happened. I'm like, wait a minute. I don't play games outside the streams. What is wrong with me?
Nah, but yeah, enjoy the. Wait, is it night at your? Is it night time by
It's
you?
like the afternoon-ish. It's like 4.
Okay, well then, I'm gonna then say enjoy the rest of your afternoon.
Yeah, I guess, and have a good night. I don't know.
Time zones is a weird thing, okay?
Yes, indeed.
Okay. Bye, Niloc, and enjoy the rest of your afternoon.
Yeah, you too.
Bye. Bye, I mean.
Bye.
Okay, Rogue Nation, like I said, go follow him on Twitter, Twitch, and stuff. If you have enjoyed this, smash the like button, feel free to subscribe. And as always, Rogue Nation, I'm super tired. It's like 9 PM, 9:15. And as always, Rogue Nation, go Rogue.